So anyway, you are newly alienated, estranged, whatever you want to call it. You're brand new to this show, and I want to welcome you to an exclusive club. Unfortunately, it's not that exclusive. It's kind of widespread. So there are stages to grief. What you're experiencing right now is ambiguous grief. It's called ambiguous grief. And I want to talk about there are stages, just like there's stages of grief for when people actually, people actually die or you end the relationship. There are stages. So there are 7 stages to this particular kind of grief. And we're going to talk about a few of them today. So hi, my name is Annie, and this is Grand AlieNation. We are resources for alienated grandparents. So let's talk about number 1, shock and disbelief. So you suddenly get cut off and there's like some kind of disagreement or kerfuffle, or, you piss them off for some reason. And then now they're not answering your text messages and you leave a voicemail and they don't call back. And you're wondering like, okay, maybe they're busy. What's going on? And, you kind of get into this like rapid fire texting, calling, emailing, trying to reach out to your kid. And you may or may not know that this is happening to you. There's a lot more information out there, especially on social media, people talking about it, but you're still in disbelief. You're like, no, I'll give them time to cool off. They'll call me later. Time goes by and they don't. They're ignoring you, or they've blocked you, or they've chosen to silence their notifications so that they don't even have to deal with you. But the first stage is shock and disbelief. Some typical signs that this could be happening to you is a feeling of numbness, like not actually feeling numb, but you're like kind of your system is in shock. And you toss and turn because your brain keeps like circling the drain. It just keeps spinning and spinning, like maybe this and maybe that and maybe this. So sleeplessness and frantic messaging, like rapid fire messaging. That is one of my pet peeves. Like, don't you say like, hi, how are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you answering my phone? Like that is irritating. So don't do that. Okay. So that is like frantic, rapid fire messaging. Don't do that. You keep checking your phone. Like, you know what that's like. You send a message and you're waiting for them to answer. And like, is my phone on silent? Oh, what's going on? You just keep checking. Keep checking like a freaking fiend. And you look at your photos and why this is normal is that sudden cutoffs like this, it shakes up your system, your attachment system. Like normal things that happen to you, it like completely upends it. Early studies. Okay, so I'm going to read some statistics for you. Early studies and surveys highlight how common and blindsiding family estrangement is. Blindsiding is really what it feels like. And so even among otherwise functional families, and this comes from Psychology Today, I just wanted to make sure I cite my resources so I'm not like talking out of my butt. So what helps now? What can you do now? Here are some actionable steps. So this is what happened to me when I realized, oh my God, she's really cutting me off. And what I did was just for my own self preservation and for my own peace of mind, I did screenshots of all the text messages, because after our cutoff, I got a list of demands. And they were quite extensive. And so I took a screenshot of all of them, because in case something happens to my phone, dies, whatever, everything gets, wiped. I have copies of it and I save them in my photos. So I did copies of my screenshots, and, you can, if you journal, I highly recommend if you don't journal, you start now, because it's going to be cathartic. So take your journal and write in there a timeline of like what happened, so you can kind of make sense of it. It doesn't always make sense, but you kind of make sense of putting some pieces together. because a lot of the grandparents that I encounter, they're like, I didn't do anything. Oh, yeah, you did. So if you write down all the interactions that happened that led up to this, you can kind of piece together what you did so that you first of all make sense of what happened, and secondly start taking some steps to reconcile it. Also, what's going to happen next is that you're going to start shutting down and you won't want to tell anybody. But make sure that you have one safe person, one person that you can, cry on, that you can let out all your anger and frustration, somebody that's going to be a safe space for you, that's not going to judge you and go like, okay, shut up already. That person, have somebody that is your like closest friend, or maybe a family member, somebody that can empathize with you and just allow you to express your feelings. So that'll be, something good that you can, something productive that you can do for yourself while you're in this first stage of, disbelief. Like, I can't believe my kid's doing this. And then another thing that you could do is, like I said, like journaling, but make a log, all the dates that you post stuff, like you sent her a message, kind of keep track of what had happened, just so that you can make sense of it. So let's talk about the second phase, which is, what did I do? Why is this happening? So in this stage, you're kind of like, okay, I've accepted the fact that my kid's not going to talk to me now, but like, I got to figure out what I did, because I'm not just going to sit here and just wallow. You can't say I didn't do anything, because you did. So even though what you did was not intentional, it wasn't meant to hurt anyone, or you didn't know that you were overstepping somebody's boundaries, because not like they built a wall around themselves. You don't know what their boundaries are. So in this phase is going to be very important for you to reach out, do some research online. There's a lot of stuff on Instagram, and TikTok is kind of, for us grandparents and parents of these kids, might be kind of toxic. So, because a lot of the kids are on there on TikTok. So just for your sanity, don't go there right now. Just look on Instagram, because there are a lot of resources. A lot of people are talking about it. Some therapists are talking about it. Some people who are against therapists are talking about it. There's this one lady called the Doormat Mom. She's talking about it. So trying to figure out what you did to that was the tipping point for your kid, because it wasn't one big thing. It was a series of small little, how does that go? Like small, tiny cuts got you to where you are right now. So this phase, the what did I do phase, can last quite long, because you've got to do some soul searching. You got to take a look. Okay, what did I really do? What did I say? Was I overstepping? Was I too nagging? Was I, like being a what do you call, helicopter mom? Take a look at your own behavior honestly, and so that you can really figure out, okay, I'm going to accept responsibility for my part, because there are both sides of the story. There are two parts. You are not the villain, and neither is your kid. So look forward to our upcoming videos. I'm going to talk about these whole 7 stages of grief for alienated grandparents in some other upcoming videos. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. We are resources for alienated grandparents. I've been doing this for about a year now, and I have a website, grandalienation.com. That's grandalienation with 2 N's.com. All right, thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you guys later.